While more and more series about the MCU are being released on Disney+, it is still rather quiet in theaters. However, this will change soon as the first movie of Phase 4, Black Widow, will hit theaters this year, and then everything will start moving fast. One of the top titles is Thor: Love and Thunder. The film is already said to be one of the biggest in the MCU and the cast looks very promising. But what will the fourth movie of the God of Thunder be about? What kind of plots are already known and who will be the villain? Well, we've dealt with all these questions and compiled the answers for you in this video. Be warned though, this video may contain some spoilers from the MCU. The film will take place in the midst of Phase 4 and will most likely be released in US theaters on May 6, 2022. Chronologically, it can be placed between Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The events will of course take place after Endgame, although it will certainly be interesting to see whether they occur prior to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 or after. As we saw at the end of Avengers Endgame, Thor sets out on a journey with the Guardians of the Galaxy in order to protect the universe. In the process, the first teasing between Star-Lord and himself occurs regarding the Captain's question. Since the Guardians will definitely play a role in Thor 4, it remains exciting to see as to when the movie will be set. Quite a lot is already known about the cast. First, the filming has been going on in Australia since January and wrapped last week, so some photos have already been leaked on Twitter and similar sites. Second, Marvel has also released some details through official media channels. Looking at the list of names, there's a lot to look forward to. And who would have guessed it? Chris Hemsworth is once again slipping into the role of the God of Thunder, and even his beloved Jane Foster is back on the big screen after a hiatus in Thor 3. This time, however, Natalie Portman plays a special role. After director Taika Waititi handed her the mighty hammer Mjolnir at the 2019 Comic-Con, it became clear that she will no longer be the shy scientist, but that she will turn into mighty Thor. The two of them are supported not only by all Guardians of the Galaxy, but also by the new ruler of Asgard, the Valkyrie, who has been fighting in the MCU since Ragnarok. She will again be played by Tessa Thompson. Also back are Jamie Alexander as Lady Sif, Sean Gunn as Kraglin, and of course Waititi himself as the quirky Korg. It is also certain that there will be a few cameo appearances similar to those in Thor 3. A lot of fans were quite surprised when Matt Damon as Loki, Sam Neill as Odin, and Chris' brother Luke Hemsworth as Thor suddenly appeared as a small stage play in Asgard. They will get additional support in Love and Thunder. Melissa McCarthy has been hired to portray the evil sister Hela. We're already looking forward to that scene. Also confirmed is Russell Crowe as Zeus. Whether this role is a serious one or just another Easter egg for the fans, we still don't know for sure. It's been a long time since we get to see him in a superhero movie, but the time has finally come up again. Christian Bale has been confirmed as the villain in Thor 4. Provided he is at least half as convincing as he was in the Batman Dark Knight series, we can definitely look forward to some great acting. He will embody Gorr the God Butcher. We'll take a closer look at Gorr's entire background later. He has connections to many characters in the MCU which we've already met. It is interesting to note that after The Dark Knight Rises, Bale never wanted to be in a comic book adaptation again. Bale feels the genre is too boring and he always described wearing the costume as, well, let's call it confining. Taika Waititi, however, was able to persuade him to reconsider his decision with his character and, above all, a very good script. However, it is not yet known whether Tom Hiddleston will play a part as Loki again. What is clear is that the Loki of the original timeline is dead. However, as we know, another one escaped with the help of the Tesseract and now has his own series, which will be released on Disney Plus on the 9th of June. This may have an impact on the upcoming Thor movie on several levels, especially considering Natalie Portman's new role, though we'll talk more about that at a later date. We would definitely be glad to see the two brothers reunited, even though the Loki from the other timeline is not yet as chastened as his dead self. The mighty Thor line will play an important and big role in the upcoming film. In it, Jane Foster develops breast cancer and proves herself worthy of carrying the hammer Mjolnir based on her deeds. It is believed that she gets cancer because of her contact with the ether. The more she uses her newly acquired powers, the worse the tumor inside her becomes. Waititi thinks that this is a very interesting approach in the comics, but he hasn't yet confirmed that he will do it that way in the movie too. But how does she obtain the hammer in the first place? The Mjolnir, which we saw in Endgame, was eventually returned to its timeline by Cap. There are two theories about this. The first would link up with the Loki series. In this one, Loki works for the Time Variance Authority and has to fix errors in the timelines. However, we know far too well that he often pursues his very own goals. So it would be conceivable that he comes in contact with the initial timeline and brings back the powerful weapon from another timeline into this one. The second theory would be that we are not dealing with the Jane Foster from the old movies at all, but that she also enters the main line from a different one. However, in that case, she would only do that after she has turned into Mighty Thor. Also, an important element in the movie is said to be the love stories. Sure, the first thing that comes to mind is the romance between Thor and Jane, but there are a growing number of people saying that the fierce Valkyrie embodied by Tessa Thompson will finally find her love. Even though her sexuality hasn't been detailed to this point, we do know that she's one of the first LGBTQ characters in the MCU. Oh, by the way, the first homosexual character in the MCU will be in the movie Eternals. But now, let's talk about the villain Gorr the God Butcher. He was first introduced in the comics in 2013 and has been one of Thor's most dangerous enemies ever since. Gorr lived on a very religious planet. Upon the death of his parents in an accident, he renounces the gods and henceforth moves into exile. When he then learns that such beings do indeed exist, yet they did not help protect his family, he vows bloody revenge. This he wants to perpetrate with his powerful sword all black. This sword was forged a long time ago by the evil god Gnull. He also decapitated the Celestial we already met in the movies, namely the one from whose head nowhere emerged. Using the power of the sword and the Celestial, he then created the symbiotes we know from Venom. Therefore, it could be that this will be the first time that there will be a hinted connection between Venom and the MCU. Gnull stranded on the planet of Gorr. When the latter learned that he was a god, he slayed him with his own sword and sets off on his journey. Conceivably, he would hunt either Thor or Jane, and the others would rush to assist the respective one. Apart from that, there's no connection between Gorr and Mighty Thor in the comics, so Waititi can let his creativity run free. As has often been mentioned, Taika Waititi is once again scriptwriter, director, and actor all in one. Thus, he has also achieved great success on the latest part of Thor Ragnarok and made it the most successful movie of the series to date. After production had to be postponed time and time again due to the ongoing crisis, filming started on January 26, 2021 at Fox Studios Australia in Sydney, under the working title The Big Salad. The most exciting aspect is the camera technology used to shoot the new film. It is based on stagecraft technology which was already used in the Disney series The Mandalorian. Instead of standing in front of a green screen, the actors stand in front of LED video walls that display the setting. On the one hand, this has the advantage that shooting no longer has to take place in many different locations around the world, but instead small camera teams take images in advance. In addition, the actors can see their surroundings differently than with a green screen and thus better anticipate their role. Taika Waititi and Chris Hemsworth also joked around a bit and posted their first official poster for the film, which shows, well, only them. On social media, Hemsworth added that the budget for the Thor Love and Thunder poster was calculated really tight, but that the message is clear: lots of love and lots of thunder. To conclude this video, we have gathered a few fun facts about the production and the actors. For example, with his fourth movie, Thor is now the only MCU character to have so many standalone movies to his name. The cast includes 5 Oscar winners, namely Christian Bale, Matt Damon, Natalie Portman, Taika Waititi, and Russell Crowe. Including Bale and Crowe, 3 actors have already moved from DC to Marvel after Michael Keaton. It will be the 29th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Chris Hemsworth, who's playing the role of Thor for the 8th time, achieved his largest physique to date for this movie, weighing 105 kilos. He had to eat 8 times a day just to maintain the weight he gained. Alright, enough talk from us, now it's time for your opinion. How hyped are you for the new Thor movie? We cannot wait for May 2022. After all, Waititi stated that it'll probably be the best MCU movie of all time. Are you missing anyone among the current cast that you would like to see, and what are your thoughts on the plot? Let us know in the comment section. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up.